Yes, more than an elixir. An elixir, because then that would have been Excalibur. To bring your car, I held one of those when my hell would fall. It would break a car and the windshield. You would need to get replaced because that's what broke. Maybe I broke the silence, yo, and the peace and the time that passed was more perseverable to persevere with some of this. I won't make a strange from my lips because I plan to never get it big. Once I just paint like a bunch of them brush, a Bob Ross, a bunch of them barber shops would get close with the candy cane, but then a candy bar. That's the more insane. Don't make sense, but I make sense to some of them when they drift, because then I enter the head and then I'm in the center of this shit once again, because then what resembles abyss was actually the whole time as it passed, a whole bunch of them pets that would be released in the claws, because all of them dogs go to song. When you want some of the soul, won't you just open your mind or get out of the box, because you wouldn't think out of this sauce. Maybe what sauce had the vacuum attachment attached to the side of it, and then when you hit the power on button, some more of my mind would be filling the blanks like this was menace. Or maybe a game for the arcade I'm a queen of, with the things I position to say, because then I could have been what I thought I was all along. What you thought was a cobbler dog, because then I would have called what you thought was cars with their laws on top, because then the lava runs off the what just explode, resembles a mountain, but no, because then I'd be a mountain, my tar. I'm a mountain, the border and north, because then I fucking say more to this floor with the resemblance of what was before, but now it was gone. The antenna to twist some more, because then I experiment with my flow, because then I would have go with a whip and gave it 1,000 lessons and thousands of words that I like to pick, but it's the digits it did instead, because then I dig it till the dark would have got mid, because y'all have made your mess, but the mess never got strike on the box that you got outside of it, dog, because you finally did, but now you infernal yourself, because for eternal was flow. For the miraculous to win, I was just some more of these miracles that would get the blood to run out of the ducts of the ice if you stay real close. Those are what it sees a thought, because then I would seize the day with something strong. It was the bow of more what you pulled back to let the arrow go, and they had the fire in front. Maybe y'all firing wrong on the pistons and engines were broke, so you need some blue gloves to do the job, because then you can mechanic up some of this mechanical with moving parts like it was the top of clock. Some more of this for ya. Crack a jack, some flow, and have to have some more. It's like some porridge in a pot. It was a cauldron, but now it's no. Maybe I just said something I just meant for a sec, because when that time passed, I really meant the next as we got into the next passage yet. A passage was a paragraph, a passover with flow, because then the stitch or the ball would admit the end zone, bro. As I ozone, bro, I fucking own these words I throw, because then I fucking meant what I said, and you would've got tourniquet all of your arms when I got broke. When I strike hard like a club that gets dragged by an oar, because then you would've got drugged with my flow. You would've woke up 10 years later with a beard that was long, with a drum that I beat so fucking hard that the skin would've ripped, and then it was broke, you would've thought, but you could reskin that bitch. That's what I learned to do. When I skimmed the top of flow, it was like I'm ice skating across what wasn't froze. That's like the crock of the grove. Won't you release the crock and some mo? Because then you would hard pressed to get the next, I guess, a message inside an envelope. So won't you give yourself a paper cup? Matter of fact, give yourself a notebook full. Then I fucking know my beautiful. something that bounced off of cathedral walls, because of the stained glass with some of that side stayed wrapped around your neck like it's something I wrote. Something I wrote. Oh, when we die. This is an exhibit of excellence, dog. That's why it was said, sweet that just spilled from me lips. This was something you want on a hard or cool day, it doesn't matter what, because it stays the same tip. It's moderate, but it fluctuates so much. It's on both realms, both sides of the skull, amigo, because then the cope could have never got broke. It could have never got promised, dog. It's a promiscuous I talk, because then the net was pitched to catch some fish with the fins they flip. I'd hit the sides of ship who sank my plate. Then I'll hit you in the room where it belongs, because in this room I will be strong. This was the bowl that would just glow. It was the witch that would foretell inside the hut that I helped build, made out of sticks and mud I found. This is a whole bunch of them snake motels when they gathered up on the whole block, because then you would have hoped, dog, that my flow would hit strong. It would hit the mole inside of the hole that he took the wall to dig out, because it wasn't a prop. I make it sound like one, and she held up her bra, and she threw to the stage where I stood. I want some rose, some mo, some rouge de crochet and flow, as it rose from the crypt some mo, so I could get my flesh back for a sec, so I could spit some you can remember in head, and then I could have said something like Rembrandt I bit. So why don't you auction it off and hold the patter up so everyone saw Peter Pit my rip, because the pit the hit a dragon bit, because that's how I trained it when I released that shit from lit. With the list begin to say some more that glance and shimmer in the dark, because that sin simmer, dog, until you were all shut off. You were shut off from civilization and live. To live is have the light inside, so you couldn't live if you were insane, bitch. So why not dissect the way this sounds, so y'all could intersect with it, cause I intercept your transmission, bitch. The frequency resides in here. A bunch of why I said the resounding dark to make it sound like it's more strong than it actually was, because who would have told? Who would have told? Like it was an atonement that somebody found. It's something I told with a tall boo. Maybe a tall bill, like the hat I wore. Maybe I changed my hat so low. Right now, all them off, so this is who I actually was. Maybe I'm back as action Branson, ready to kick like a Bronco hall, ready to kick the ball, ready to kick your buckets fall over the form you saw, because then I would have formed you all. Like I got y'all overseas working hard. Like this was something I found in a branch. This was a ribbon of time perhaps. This was me just wrinkling there. Like the old man or the old lady that sit at the loom just staring at moon and watching all that I do, because then I would have felt her song in my heart that would beat, because then I would be the fucking beast that I've been thinking I is. Or maybe not, but maybe I am. Aristocrat, get them back, get them where it hurt perhaps. Maybe I just paragraph Persian rogue the next a floating ship, because then your floating ghosts were the soul and ran out the door, even though we could float through the wall. Boom. Whole bunch of them. That's right. Whole bunch of them now. Fucking serious. Right, son. What am I thinking about? Absolutely nothing. TWA.